Hello and welcome. This is Get It Straight. Get It Straight is a clear understanding of issues. Sometimes we deal with historical traditions. And you may remember when we talked about Anumre, a suburb of Accra, Rana Chimota. But today we're turning our attention to Abokobi. Abokobi is in the Ghana East Municipal Assembly, or the Ghana East Municipality. And it happens to be the head of the Ghana East Municipality. It has a very long history, Abokobi. Yes. So let's take our minds back, way back, to the Presbyterians, and this particular Presbyterian minister who happens to be a missionary called Andras Rees. Andras Rees worked for so many years with the Presbyterian Church of the then Gold Coast. So he was stationed in Akropong, Ekwapim, and he decided that he would get a retreat center in Abokobi for the missionaries, so they can come around and spend some time and then pray and do other things in Abokobi. So he actually acquired the land of Abokobi from the Brekusus. Brekusu is a place around where now S02 University is. So Andras Rees came down to Ghana at a very, very early age. He was in his 20s. So he got the land of Abokobi, actually bought it from the Brekusu people. So he never thought that the story we are going to tell about Abokobi would happen in this way. But it did happen. In 1852, the British were around here in the then Gold Coast, which is now Ghana. And the British decided that the people of Osu, La, and Teshi, whether you were a man, a woman, or a child, you have to pay 10 shillings as tax for the year. Could you imagine? They imposed this tax on the people of La, Osu, and Teshi. Then, in 1854, these people, Osu, La, Teshi people, decided to rebel. They didn't understand why they should conform to paying this tax put on them by the British. So they said they would no more pay after a while. Do you know what happened? The British decided that in 1854, after 2 years, 1854, the La, Osu, and the Teshi people were having their homowork together, their festival together. So the British went there and then ransacked everything, beat them up, and some of them were injured. Then they spoke with Zimmerman. Zimmerman was the man who was a missionary that had been stationed in Osu and had won a few souls there. So they cried unto Zimmerman, and Zimmerman said, "Oh, do not worry. There is a place in Abokobi that Andras Rees had bought many years before that we could go to." So they carried their things, followed Zimmerman all the way from Osu. Some of the La and Teshi people followed him, and they came all the way to Abokobi. So that's how Abokobi began. Originally, it was a very small place, a retreat center built by Andras Rees, the Presbyterian missionary. But he never thought a calamity would be visited on the Christians in La, Osu, and Teshi, who would later on come and reside there. So they resided there. After a while, they decided that their Christian community, they have to have a chief of their own. So they installed a chief right in the chapel, and Ni Opoti was the first chief who ruled in Abokobi. He did so. He ruled with the Christian church there, with the people in there. Abokobi was a very small place. Now, if you come to Abokobi, you see it's a bigger settlement. Not too big anyway, but a bigger settlement than originally that we know of. So that's it. That's the little story about Abokobi. Well, I hope you loved it. Do have a lovely time. We'll meet again. Bye.